Welcome to Rubbin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Now, this week we've had quite the headlines. We had the aviation minister saying that the sector is deregulated, so there's little or nothing the government can do, and travelers are having to pay double, triple, in some instances quadruple the amount they would usually pay for airfares, and that is really getting in the way of some of the Detty December plans, or just normal going back home for Christmas, for the festivities. Among some of the headlines is the defection of the Rivers State governor from PDP to the ruling party APC, and this past week we had some of the End Bad Governance protesters released. Quite a lot to discuss, and I have with me Justice Ojieno, a lawyer, joining me for this conversation. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
It's my pleasure to join you.
Let's start with the airfares. I don't know if you plan to travel during this festivity or maybe go visit someone, but I know I've gone online to look at the prices, and for a family of say 5, the prices are going into the million. That's just it, and that 5 includes children. So just to go to the capital and back, you're looking at north of 1 million. How are Nigerians supposed to travel, especially when the roads are so unsafe? So is air travel now going to be something just for the uber rich, the 1% of the 1%?
Even the 1% of the 1% too have joined the pressure against the airfare hike and sector generally. Ironically, within the hour, my auntie called me and asked me, "Oh, the justice, when are we going to see you? Promise to come." I told her to bar the thought for now, and unfortunately that seems to be the situation that we are in as a country. It is terrible for integration, it is terrible for the economy, because if you have to make a business trip and maybe a client is to bear the cost of whatever service you have to render, and you have to show up there, then the client will have to consider bearing the cost of airfare, which has become inevitable. Is no longer a thing of luxury. It used to be that maybe, yeah, people couldn't afford it, but this time it became, just like you said in your intro, quadrupled. And just mention it, and it's very, very hurtful to the economy. It's very, very hurtful to the average Nigerian. It is very, very hurtful to see this happening, and it is also doubled because we had a situation where the roads are terribly, terribly unsafe. It is not luxury to want to go by air anywhere. It is because we have now made kidnapping is generally a business, and unfortunately so that is why anybody who wants to say they want to take the risk of going by road, they're going to be penny wise, pound foolish, because if you calculate the amount they're going to be paying for in the unfortunate circumstance that a person gets kidnapped, and compare it to the amount of airfare you have to look for it by hook or crook. So I feel that it's very, very sad, and it's very, very unfortunate, and the government should, as a matter of urgency, not fold their hands and throw their hands in the air, as the minister is saying that, oh, the industry is deregulated, there is nothing they can do. But I think that is too defeatist, and that shouldn't be the approach of a government to any challenge that is seriously bedeviling the people, threatening the economy, threatening social integration and all. They have to do something about it.
And what are some things they can do? Because I want to believe that Nigeria is not the only market where aviation has been deregulated, and you do have competition. It's not like there's just one airline that is dominant. You have several airlines playing in that space. So what are some things that the government can do within a deregulated sector to ensure that we're not having to pay cutthroat prices and, as you said, hurt the economy? That's loss of jobs, that's loss of income. And I mean, the Detty December people are coming. They would want to explore different parts of the country, spend their dollars, their pounds. But with those excessively high airfares, it's looking like it just might not play out?
They're sweet dollars. They're sweet dollars. They're sweet pounds. I want to beg them that no matter what the Nigerian government is saying about this situation, they should still bring it into the economy, because even oil is not giving us the kind of FX, direly needed FX that they are going to give us. So, having said that, with respect to the government, what they can do about it, I feel that as much as possible, yeah, they've come to say they are not taxing that much, but they have to tax further less. If they cannot make Nigerian Airways work, which is an alternative that the government can use to actually make the fares a bit more base, they have to look for a way to subvert the amounts that the players in the industry are spending. For example, they can subsidize it. In a manner of speaking, they can forgo the tax and the charges. They can outrightly actually forgo it in order to make that space be able to be something that maybe businesses can afford more, and Nigerians, especially with the emphasis they are putting on dirty December people, they too can be more inspired to come. So if the government provides the local airway, of course we know that usually is because it's the cesspit of corruption. That's why they have...
the previous administration did launch an airline
cesspit of corruption.
I mean...
but we know that they just slapped the brand name on maybe on one or two aeroplanes that were borrowed from Ethiopia. We didn't own the rights to the aircrafts, and maybe that was why that couldn't. So, because a lot of people will say that government should not be in business, government should just create an enabling environment. Yeah, maybe if the government is not doing that, if they are not awakening or resurrecting the Nigerian Airways in one way, shape or form, then they should ensure that they either subsidize the industry or outrightly remove all the taxes and charges and all. And again, they should look for a way to ensure that the barriers of entry into those spaces, the regulations and all, they should look for a way to moderate it. Yeah, we know that the airlines and the airspace is a very, very dangerous line of business. It must be tightly regulated, not just in Nigeria, but all across the world. But any regulation that goes to affect finance, they have to look for a way to deregulate it. That's number two. Number three, all kind of leases. The government can actually buy aircraft and get the airlines to lease it. We don't have to wait for international organizations to be providing us with dry leases, wet leases, and all the other kind of leases that make aircraft easily as available. The government should go out, if even on a limb, to strike deals with international organizations and countries to ensure that everything that the Nigerian average airline operator needs to be able to do well in this space is made available to them. Yeah, the minister is doing a bit with the way he's pushing for air peace and all to succeed. I think that I should do it a bit more for other airlines in order for the life of the average Nigerian to be a bit more comfortable.
Very, very important points that you've raised, and I do hope that they are listening, because indeed something can be done.
Absolutely.
But just putting your hands up in the air and saying
no, it's not acceptable.
No, I mean, Nigerians have to move, businesses have to grow.
Absolutely.
And those connections need to be made. And this is also a wake-up call to security agencies to provide a safer alternative. I grew up going by road and going by air, and it depended on but now it's almost like nobody just says they're going by road anymore.
Gen Z will not even know Nigeria. They will not know Nigeria, because I prefer you alive than put your life at risk by telling you to take a road trip.
And there's also accidents that continuously happen on our roads. So it's not just the issue of kidnapping and banditry, but there's also just the sheer number of accidents that we record on some of our roads. I want us to move to politics. Are we sliding into a one-party state? Did it come as a surprise when the Rivers State governor, Sim Fubara, defected from PDP to APC, or was it bound to happen, considering that he wasn't in control of his state for quite a while? And do you think those were some of the terms of the terms and conditions for him to come back?
I want to believe that it is a lot. Yeah, we say that politics is a game of horse trading. Sometimes you're looking at the horse, you don't know which one can run the fastest until you put them to a race. So that's why they call politics a game of horse trading. So I feel that if we look at eventually, now the Rosses have left the stable, they bolted, and we can see definitely that this must be the faster horse. So in this case too, I think that with everything that has happened subsequent to the peace pact, the fact that the government, just like a hand sliding into a glove, it has moved naturally after the peace pact into the APC. I want to believe that it was part of the bargain, and of course there was no uproar. Nobody's shouting at him that why did he leave the APC?
So nobody's surprised. You're not surprised.
I'm absolutely not surprised. And this again goes to show that I personally, I say that all politicians are crooks because a lot of times it's not what they say that they mean. So I'm not surprised. I'm just totally disappointed at the people that they have felt that, oh, they are voting based on ideology and they want to die. For these particular politicians, they should be regretting themselves now. And that's why I always say, don't die in their war. They are politicians. Whatever it is you are feeling for them is not permanent. The only thing that is permanent is their personal interests. So don't die in their war. It's just politics. Join them to participate in it as a civic duty, but do not be partisan about it. Do not be fanatical about it. Don't take it beyond the ordinary. Don't kill yourself for it. Don't fight for it. Don't engage in violence for it. Politicians are who they are. They are absolutely unstable. The only time they are stable is when their interest is involved.
And why do you think that for the people of Rivers that voted PDP into government, that there wasn't that uproar? There wasn't that, oh, have you changed your political ideologies, or is this more of political survival? And how come we didn't see that see people speaking out and taking to the streets and registering their displeasure that, look, this is not the mandate we gave you. We gave you the PDP mandate and now you're in the APC. Do you think that the people have been bought, or do you think they are okay? Or do you think Nigerians are just getting used to the fact that eventually the majority of the states are all going to move to APC and we'll all be happy with it? I
think that we are assuming that there is an ideology behind Nigerian political parties. People feel that, oh, because of their migration from here to here, they are moved from one ideology.
So it's just a vehicle.
I feel that it's just, and unfortunately, the Constitution makes our country a democracy that has to be determined by political parties. So there is no independent candidature. So you have to have the vehicle of the party. So whenever you feel like you can jump from one political party to another party and just maintain your ideology. And in Nigeria, there is no political ideology that benefits the Nigerian people. It's just elitist that benefits the politicians. They just need an avenue to grab power. And that is why they participate in politics. With respect to whether they will all eventually join the APC, we have, as it stands now, it's 30-6. 30 APC parties to 6 non-APC parties. The others are so splintered, they're just 1-1-1 or something like that. Maybe PDP has 2 by some sheer luck or accident. And I believe that in Osun State, I pray for Mr. Deleke to win. If he doesn't win, because he looks very, very politically vulnerable to me. The Accord Party too is going to probably be the 31st state for the APC. So eventually, before the elections, we'll probably have a situation where APC has 34 out of 36, and it's even unheard of that it's going to be a 36 out of 36. So how is there going to be an election? Why are we still debating whether Nigeria is a one-party state or not? It is, and there just has to be some form of miracle or mishap.
So if we do slide into 34, 35, 36, who then holds the APC accountable? Are we as a people strong enough, or do we need political parties, opposition parties, to provide the checks and balances required in a democracy?
Okay, for some of us, I've screamed myself was when all the dominoes started falling into the APC, and it looks like, oh, for me now, I've given up on whether there's going to be opposition. There is no opposition. There is no opposition, and there is not going to be an opposition. The most viable opposition would have been a political party. Another form of opposition would have been the legislature checkmating the executive. But that never, ever happens in our country. What we have is a rubber stamp rank at the legislature that just goes on your mandate, we shall stand legislature. So there is no opposition from political parties, no opposition from the legislature. We are assuming that it is the...
What about the media? Are we strong enough to provide the checks and balances to hold this government, APC-led government, accountable?
Yes, we have select media that are doing their best. Ordinarily, I would have loved sometimes what's happening outside of Nigeria with Fox News, checkmating CNN and MSNBC and things like that. It would have been a fantastic one if they can hold their ground like that. What we have Fox News devoted by hook or crook to the Republicans, and CNN and MSNBC devoted by hook or crook to the Democrats. That would have been very, very tough, because every person that goes into political office knows that is that Fox News is going to come against me, or CNN or MSNBC will come against me. But Nigeria, it looks like we do not really have that. We don't really have strong media. Yeah, this platform is doing the best they can do. The other platforms, so I don't want to drop names, are doing the best they can do. But again, what about the journalists behind it? Journalists, if you weaponize poverty and they are not paid the best they ought to be paid, how would they be professional enough to be able to hold power accountable? What if a politician calls them to the back and offers them what we call the Godfather offer, an offer which they cannot refuse? Who says they will not fall? They are also humans. Yeah, you can say everything about journalistic ethics and things like that they are not supposed to, but in the face of a Godfather offer, how many of them? It's only a few exceptions that will be able to say, no, I hold to the ethics of my profession. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to ask the tough questions. Aside from, okay, the journalist has asked the very, very tough questions. The editor who is supposed to be the gatekeeper, the owner of the platform who is supposed to platform it, who says the politician cannot call them behind and make them the Godfather offer that will make them either cut the journalist loose and all. A lot of things do happen in background that will make opposition increasingly tough against this particular government in power. Again, we must remember, the leader of the party is a savant, in a manner of speaking, is a genius when it comes to politics. Anybody who can just be hypocritical and insult him or do anything you want to say, but this person is a genius.
There's a reason why he's called the Jagaban. So, a political master strategist, and we see this at play. That being said, are you expecting people to actually come out to run for president on different parties, or do you think it would just be a walkthrough where, bow and go, more or less? Or are you expecting some of the popular people, like we've seen the former vice president, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, we've seen the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last elections, Peter Obi. Are you expecting these people to come forward, or maybe even a woman for a change, to come forward to say, look, I'm going to give the APC government a run for their money, and I'm ready to challenge Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president?
In an ideal setting where the people actually determine who becomes president, and the governors are not going to manipulate or intimidate and some other actors are not going to do that, I would have said a yes. But now I just think that everybody should just save their efforts for 2031. I'm sorry, I have to...
They should save their money, their efforts, they shouldn't rally the troops.
They should save their effort, they shouldn't... What troops? What troops? When the power blocks...
Let's look at the young people who went with so much hope to the polls.
The young people participated in the last election with so much optimism.
Yes.
I participated with so much optimism. Of course, I didn't support Jagaban in the last election, and I didn't hide my take or my preference for another politician. I supported Peter Obi with everything within me.
So if Peter Obi was to come out again, will you support him, or will you say, Peter Obi, don't waste your time, let's just give it to Jagaban?
In all honesty, I will support him, but maybe will not as much zest as I did the last time. Because
why
I know
is that? Is it that you don't believe in his candidacy, or you don't believe that we're politically mature, or the INEC will conduct a free and fair elections? What's changed over the years?
I'll give Mr. Amopitan, the present chairman of INEC, the benefit of the doubt that he's not going to be as horrible and horrendous as the erstwhile, the immediate past INEC chairman.
Who is on the ambassadorial list, right?
Who is, yes, and unfortunately so, who immediately after I did a horrible, terrible job, was given national honors, and was given the ambassadorial. I don't know what favor is going to be given again after this, because it just looks like we are going deeper and deeper into shame, into celebrating failures in this country. So I don't know what other surprise I'm gonna be seeing with respect to how a person who is supposed to be, who is a total disgrace, is going to be honored in this country. So I'm going to give Mr. Amir Piton benefit of the doubt that he's going to do right by this country, and the votes of the Nigerian people are going to count. But having said that, it is 30/36. No governor. It will be a shock and a surprise for a governor to lose in this environment. And again, he is incumbent. This savant, political savant, is incumbent. The president is incumbent.
But President Goodluck
Jonathan,
I have to say
it three times.
President Goodluck Jonathan was
incumbent.
That is
the greatest gentleman you will ever see in politics. He was incumbent. He didn't even contest it. So Mr. Jonathan is unusual, is an angel that has never, is a type of angel that we have never ever seen his type in the history of political power in this country. I probably will never see it again. Then we should start prayers for people like him in 2031. If he doesn't participate in this, we should pray to have such angels in 2031, because I do not see any other political leader that we've had in the past yielding power and conceding power in the way he did. He plays the court, he refused to go to court. That's the only time we've not had presidential election petition in our country, in the entire history of our country. From the beginning, Awolowo and Shagari and Buhari and INEC, and just count them.
So let me ask you, who will determine the vote? A lot of times the Northern Bloc says they hold the majority. And when you look at the division of the states and where the votes coming from, and then you have someone like the former Nasser El-Rufai, who said, look, we're going to sweep him out of power, we're going to get him out of power. For him to make such a bold statement like that, is there something that's happening in the North that we're not aware of? Or is the North going to fully support this APC-led government?
I don't have the gift of clairvoyance, so I may not be able to say with pinpoint accuracy, with surgical accuracy, what the answer will be. But I don't think that Nasser El-Rufai is speaking for the Northern Bloc. He's speaking for himself. We've known the kind of politician that he has been all the while. So, but I feel that, see, part of the North, in fact, in Southwest, we have one governor that is not APC. In Southeast, we have two. Okay. Oyo State and Osun State. Thank you very much for the clarification. In the entire North, it's just 2 out of 19. It's 2. I don't see how, because we have 2 in the Southeast, none in the South. I've never heard that. That has never happened in the history of this country before. But in the North, in the entire 19 states, it's 17/19. I do not see how they will not deliver the votes for Jagaban. It might just be, okay, maybe 1 or 2, it can be
so
unusual.
What you are saying is that the governors are the people who will determine to a large extent.
Unfortunately so. And they are going to deploy political speak to say, I'm the governor of the state, I'm speaking for the people, I'm the custodian of the voice of the people. Whereas last week, you and the entire people were in PDP, for example, in Rivers, you were with the people only for you to just wake up and go to APC. And we are just also assuming that the people too, as robots and zombies that are not thinking, they just wake up and tell them you've joined another political party. They drop their brain they are dimwits and they have also followed you. That's the assumption. But unfortunately, that's also going to be the reality of the numbers that we are going to see. And that's why I'm saying, let's give Amupiton the benefit of the doubt. If what I'm prophesying or proposing is eventually not true, and the people go to the votes, and their votes count against what their domineering emperor-like governors determine it should be the actual count of the eventual votes, then I'll believe that, oh, we now have an angel at the helm of INEC who is going to let everything work. But generally, except for what happened in Lagos State in the last election, where an opposition party won against the incumbent governor, generally, the order of the day is that whatever figure the governor has dictated against the actual right of franchise of the average people is what often carries the day.
So will you still go and vote? And if yes, if your candidate from the last elections declares his presidential bid, will you mobilize people? Will you use everything in your being like you did? Or will you just vote for the sake of your conscience and let, whatever is going to happen, happen?
I think it's going to be the latter. I'll vote for my conscience. I may not want to extirpate the level of energy that I extirpated in the past election.
Even with this hope you have in the new leadership at the INEC?
It's 30 over 36. It's probably going to be 33 over 36.
Well, all we can say is that 2027 will be an election for the books. Thank you so much, Justice Ojieno, for your contributions. And only time will tell if you're indeed a prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go on a quick break on Rubbin Minds. To Rubbin Minds. Now, Detty December, the cultural phenomenon that has come to stay, where we see people in the diaspora coming back to Nigeria to enjoy what the culture scene has to offer, the hospitality, the warmth, the vibrancy, from concerts to festivals to events for different categories of people. There's something for everyone, and it's expensive. I mean, when you think about how much people are spending now, from the accommodation to the transportation, the surges that are happening on the ride-hailing apps, to even the cost to enter the clubs and the lounges where you have to pay so much for a bottle or for bottles to reserve a table. And a lot of people are coming out on social media asking, can we really afford Detty December? Or do we just leave it for the IJGBs, the I just got backs who have come with their sweet dollars and pounds and different currencies to discuss the fun, the pressure, and everything that comes with Detty December? I'm now joined on Zoom by a cultural curator in the person of Efe Tommy. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Hi, how are you? Nice to connect with you via Zoom. I'm just so sorry. The traffic on the road couldn't make me join you in the studio today.
The roads, I mean, if you saw the traffic this afternoon on Ikorodu Road, you'd be wondering, is today Sunday? Like, what is happening exactly? Yeah. And I think it just goes back to the point of Detty December and what comes with it. The traffic, the roads are congested. If you want to fly, it's too expensive. Then the clubs are packed, but at the same time, people are complaining. So I don't know. How has Detty December been for you so far? I know we're still like at the beginning part, although some will argue that it started last month at the tail end.
As a content curator and someone involved also in curating experiences for all our guests that are coming into Nigeria from diaspora, and for Nigerians who are looking out to, enjoy and experience things that are happened typical Lagos style, It has been really, really hectic because we are at the back end to ensure that they are the right experiences for people. People are having fun. People are enjoying themselves and getting their money's worth in terms of experiences. So yes, it's going really, really well for me. At the same time, it's quite hectic. But yeah, we've been doing this for over a decade. So yeah, it's really fun, hectic, but we are happy that people are experiencing what is fun, what is experiential, what is elevated, and that's just it. This year, we are planning for the biggest event of the year called the Funky Brunch, which I executively produce. So it's a big comeback for us because we haven't done it since in 4 years now. So yeah, a lot of people in diaspora, a lot of young people, a lot of millennials are looking forward to it. So I'm very, very excited. That has really kept me on my toes.
Well done. It sounds like you have your hands full, and I'm sure a lot of people playing in the hospitality space, people in tourism, they're just smiling to the bank with the numbers, the people coming in from the diaspora. Do you get a sense that there's been a change in pricing, in expectations from last year, or is it just are things just being exaggerated that all of a sudden they're paying so much money just to experience what they experienced last year for a fraction of the cost?
Honestly, with the dollar increase and the rise and fall of dollars, of course, things went really high. And typical Nigeria style, when things go high, it really takes time before they come back down. And even though they come back down, they never get back to where it was before. So yes, experiences are more elevated, and that comes also with pricing for things. The drinks that people buy became more expensive. The tickets to get into shows and concerts became more high. This is also cause of the talents that's coming to Nigeria, the artists that are performing, they're charging so high, and this is as a result of, the level of production, the level of work, and the level of things, promotion, marketing that gets into, bringing that music that we all get to fall in love with to the foresight. For us in curators of experiences, it's also a lot. But at the same time, it's also a great thing because it also gives back into the economy in a very massive way. Take, for instance, something like the Funky Brunch, where we get to hire a huge amount of staffs, young people that work as waiters, as runners, as cleaners. These are people that we pay in, couple thousands of naira, that runs into tens of thousands of naira, and holistically it runs into hundreds of thousands. We hire close to about 500 staffs. Wow. That has really dump into our pockets. At the same time, it also is elevating the lifestyle of these people, because then we have paid them for the service that they have rendered. They've also been able to create to provide for themselves and their siblings, which has also brought excitement into their hearts and their homes for Detty December. And I guess to think that this is what the Detty December is all about: the excitement, the joy of giving. The art of living beautifully.
I like how you put it, the art of living beautifully. I'd like to know, have you received any support? If you're going to be creating hundreds of jobs, you're creating employment, you're driving the revenue of the government, you're contributing to the economy. How prepared has this government been? What support have they offered to businesses like yours to be able to accommodate these large numbers of people coming, to provide safety, the infrastructure? Are you happy with the level of preparedness by this government?
We are very, very excited with the government of Lagos, because Detty December, Lagos is where everything is happening. Compared to other cities like London, other cities like America, Lagos, I would say, is really done well when it comes to security. In the industry that I am, we have girls who come out with expensive jewels, expensive handbags, expensive clothing. We have guys who come out, our celebrities wear expensive watches. jewelries. And I have never heard in the last decade of being in the lifestyle and nightlife industry that someone was robbed like the way they announced in London. You know what I mean? So for that alone, I will commend the government on security. Also, yes, we need a lot of support in terms of infrastructure to be able to, create and do a lot more concerts. Infrastructure that will not eat in deep into our banking account, because it runs into tens of millions getting a venue to be able to, host these artists, to be able to host events. So yes, we need events, we need a lot of venues, we need more venues, we need more hands. And also another thing that is very important that I think that the government should support us with also is a financial support. We need funding of all of this, because we are, for the Funky Brunch, we are celebrating music, and music for us means a global sound. Global sound means bringing DJs from all around the world to be able to make people experience what a global sound should be like. We spend so much money in terms of building and fabricating things to bring these venues to life, so that what people see on social media, they understand that it's not just one day's work. We spend days setting up these venues to be able to bring this experience to life. So I think, yes, the government is doing so much for us, but we still need a lot more in terms of supports for all of these experiences to come to the forefront. Because lastly, in terms of, putting these experiences to life, I also feel like it is time that we as Africans get to tell our story of the kind of experience that the world should come and see in Nigeria, because Dirty December is not just a word, it is a movement. And I know that it's not coming to stop now, because, we're here for it, and we're here for all the good things that comes with it.
I'm glad to hear that, in your personal experience, you haven't recorded any issues of theft. But, when it comes to safety, I'm not sure you remember, but last year there was a particular event and the stage just crashed, and there were people on it, and there were casualties that were recorded. And a few times things like this tends to happen, where a venue can't accommodate everyone, or certain things haven't been put in place, and it leads to the loss of lives. What can this government do to guarantee safety? Do you think Nigerians and the people coming from the diaspora truly feel safe that the government and the infrastructure is up to standard to prevent the loss of life?
Personally, I think that there is so much that has been done, which I'll reiterate back, and there is so much more that can be done. Like, for instance, we take things like health and safety very serious. Hence, we've partnered with the Ministry of Health in Lagos to ensure that for every event that we do this year, they are present there in terms of the safety buses, the first service nurses and doctors that will be around just in case we have casualties. And I think what the state have also done is that they have put a law that every event that you are doing, there's a body that comes to check your event to ensure that everything is in place. There are standards these venues put for you that you must meet in terms, just to ensure that the venue is safe, the stage and light is safe. Yes, we have those casualties, we have those venues, which is very sad. It's a sad thing that, you are doing an event and you don't get to put the proper infrastructure in place and everything, which could have led to loss of life, which could have been so disastrous. So I think that with these bodies, with time, we will definitely, as event professionals, continue to preach the gospel of making everything top standard so that things like this can be avoided.
And, with the Funky Brunch, I don't know what pricing is like, but I know that some of these concerts, these festivals, the shows, and the pop-ups, they are expensive. And one wonders if Nigerians, not the people in the diaspora, but the everyday Nigerians, can they really afford it? Or are people now borrowing to fund a lifestyle so they can post on the gram? And that amount of pressure, do you see that coming through, where people are just under undue pressure to be at these events, even if they can't afford it?
For events like in Nigeria for Detty December, there's quite a number of events, and I like to believe that there's an event for everyone. There's an event for the young people, there's an event for the mid adults, there's an event for the older adults. There's an event for everyone in December, and there's events also. As much as there's event, there's also the events that also matches your budget. And in terms of the increasing pricing of tickets and budget, it really boils down to the level of production. Promoters are going through it. Most times, these artists are too talented, which has even resulted most problem. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram where people were complaining about, artists being too expensive, and we all now have to resort to DJs and hype men to drive a whole party or a whole event. So all of these things are considered into producing an event. The cost of the venue, the level cost of production, sound, audio visual, furniture, decor, everything that even gets down to the cleaners, even gets down to the janitors, the people that clean the toilets, everything is being considered. So I also guess that this is the reason why most ticket pricing for events, gets really high. In terms of if our Nigerians are really open, be able to pay for these or buy these tickets, yes, some of them, yes, some of them, no. And I also believe that's why most of these talents are doing like lots of concerts that are relatively cheap. I believe whiskey is quite fair for buying, and which they have also introduced a buy small and pay later style for ticketing. So I guess that everyone will get to understand, experience it one way or the other. And for those that are not able to experience it one way or the other, I don't know how to feel for you, but it's just so
this
funny.
This is the pressure we're talking about. Some people FOMO, they'll be look on the streets of Instagram and they're like, I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on this. I don't know.
But everyone can't experience it. Everyone can't experience everything.
Yeah. So we should all know the one that our budgets can carry. And what made you, after 4 years, come back with the funky brunch? Was there a demand for it? When I think about brunches, I think like the Dubai brunch. Has something like that of that magnitude been done before here in Nigeria? And why this year?
The funky brunch started as a day party for Nigerians that are, because the funky brunch holistically is really where Lagos luxury meets global culture, right? It's more than just a movement. It's a celebration of art. It's a celebration of movies. It's a celebration of fashion. It's a celebration of people, all ages who come out to celebrate all things Nigerian, all things African, be able to celebrate something that we can be able to showcase to the world. And the last one we did was in 2021. And afterwards, I had a health scare. I had a kidney failure, and by the grace of God, I was able to have a successful surgery last year, which I'm very grateful. And yes, back to your question, it's really about demand. The Funky Band has been able to build a large community of young people between the ages of 23 and 45 that love music, that love the art, that love all things in between of that magnitude. And so our coming back this year, it means so much to us. It's very personal. It gives me an opportunity to become more creative, in the sense that bringing more elevated experiences to the lovers of the funky brunch, and that's why we're really going all out this year in terms of everything that makes the funky brunch what it is today and what people love.
Okay. Can you give us more details? Any special appearances? Why should people come? 4 years is a long time, and some people will say, a lot can change in 4 years. What can we expect? Bigger, better, upgraded? Yes, fill us in.
Oh my goodness, that is such a big question. Yes, I want people to come to the venue and I want them to go wow. As much as I want them to go wow, a few things I can say is that we're going to be having a 2-in-1 celebration. One is going to be on the red carpet, which is going to be lasting for a couple hours. There we want people to be able to network, to experience, to be able to meet themselves. Lagos is a very busy space. We get to live in Lagos and sometimes don't even get to see ourselves for 4 years. I can attest to you that there are some people who saw themselves last at the last Funky Brunch and haven't seen themselves yet all to this age. The Funky Brunch also have people who have met themselves and got married and built families.
Oh, wow.
We've also got the Funky Brunch here where people have met themselves in Lagos at a party and have become friends and built businesses. So for us, the party before the party, which is happening on the red carpet, Met Gala style, if I have to call it that way, is going to help people to network, know where pick up from where they left, and that is going to take us in and experience all of these beautiful brands that have come together with us to be able to bring this experience to life. And in terms of expectation from us to our guests, I guess they will be experiencing what I would like to term an international global sound. Global sound in the sense that we have picked, selected, and some of the best DJs of the continent, from Nigeria to South Africa to the US, to be able to come together and build a beautiful musical experience. All of the elements that are going to make the Funky Brunch this year have been specially curated by love, from the music performances, from the celebrities that will be doing one or two things. Do you really think I want to tell you? The people that come to the
I think you've whet our appetite.
They pretty much know the je ne sais quoi that comes with all of these things. I am very, very sure that they're expecting so much. And then in terms of those that I haven't attended before, oh my God, you are about to experience your life.
Wow. Well, I wish you all the best with the Funky Brunch.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you do rest, because it seems like you've been working very hard, and we hope that the Detty December is phenomenal for you and your team. Thank you so much for joining us, Ife Tommy.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to have a wonderful time with you. The date for the Funky Brunch is December 28th, and I'm looking forward to have you there.
Thank you. All right. So thank you very much again, and we're going on a quick break here on Rubbin Minds. Don't go anywhere.
I am ready for your action. Just all I can love. You should not have.
If you beat me, you think I'm going to answer you? Tell me, I've been knocking, calling your name. What are you doing?
I'm praying, Mommy.
But next time, as you are praying, that someone is calling you or knocking on your door, you will clap. Well, I say
I just saw
And that was the trailer of the hotly anticipated Over Sabi, Aunty by Toyin Abraham, and she's joining us via Zoom. As I was watching it, welcome. I mean, you need no introduction. Toyin Abraham, actor, award-winning actor, producer, and someone that has worked in both the English-speaking, Yoruba-speaking movie industries, a household name, gives us blockbuster hits after hits this December. So it's a pleasure to have you, Toyin Abraham, join us. Over Sabi, Aunty, at any point in your life, have you been that Over Sabi, Aunty? And what was the inspiration behind this movie?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that's just me. That's who I have been. That caring, that person that just wants everybody to be respectful, everybody that just cares about everybody. So that's just me. So it wasn't about acting. That's just who I am.
So this was an extension of your personality on screen. And I mean, even from the way you invited stars to the movie premiere, I was like, this is an Over Sabi, Aunty kind of invite. What made you do their Christmas shopping or end of year shopping as a form of inviting them for your movie?
You know, I don't think there's anybody in this world that doesn't have that Sabi Aunty in their family. We all have that Sabi Aunty. We all have that Sabi uncle in our family. So, and most times, all these are Sabi aunties and uncles, whenever they are coming to visit us, they usually come with gifts. They come with foodstuffs. It's all about, just like when you have an Sabi auntie in your life, then food will never be a problem. So they just want you to eat and keep eating.
I can literally picture that Sabi auntie at a wedding, and they will ask you if you've eaten, and they would have brought like 4 plates of food. They won't even wait for you to say, I'm hungry. No, take away. So I was going through the trailer and I saw the celebration of different cultures. What made you focus on, the Yoruba, the Igbo, the old Nollywood, the new Nollywood?
I use Twitter is one of my app. I love Twitter a lot, and I realize that most times it's always Yoruba and Igbo banter rather, and every week Yoruba and Igbo, they're always getting married. It's always someone is Yoruba, someone is Igbo, and I'm just trying to let us know that we are one Nigerian, so we should all come together. We love ourselves. So I'm just trying to let the world know that for Toye Brown, Nigerian, everybody, I love everybody, we are one. So that's just the idea. So I played a Yoruba woman and got married to an Igbo man, and they are so in love with each other. But obviously there will be tribal stuff, but it's all love. So that was, I already had that idea. Yeah.
It's all love, and we wish you all the best with the premiere. We know that you're going to do amazing at the box office, and this is just a great way to celebrate the unity of Nigeria, the different tribes, love, entertainment, all coming together. Thank you so much, Toyin Abraham, for joining us on Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much.
And this is where we will wrap this show. My name is Isabella Detty. Thank you so much for joining us. You can follow the conversation online using the hashtag Rubbin Minds.